Great to have you with us tonight here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schneed. It is Monday, December 30th, and tonight we're taking an in-depth look at the avalanche dangers, the search for a missing hiker, and the ongoing negotiations happening at Park City Mountain Resort with ski patrollers there. This happens almost on a yearly basis, but tonight we begin with the search for that missing hiker. It's now been 2 days since that hiker went missing up the Porter Fork Trail in Mill Creek Canyon. Crews are there all day today searching. Jake Taylor has the latest for us on their efforts to find that hiker.
Yeah, darkness has clearly fallen here up Mill Creek Canyon, and with this darkness, search and rescue teams have had to put a pause on their efforts to try to find this missing hiker up Porter's Fork Trail. Now, the call first came in 11:30 a.m. on Sunday of this missing hiker, but at that point, the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office tells me the man had already been missing for about 24 hours, had been overdue to return from his hike. So at this point, well over 2 days that they say this hiker has been missing. They started up at 7 a.m. today at first light trying to find this hiker after it had to be paused last night. And as of this point, there's been little sign of any indication of what may have happened to that hiker, where he could be. They put a lot of resources to bear trying to find this hiker. Of course, the search and rescue teams had snowmobiles. They used drones to search through the area. They even had access to a DPS helicopter, but with some stormy conditions, snow showers up the canyon earlier today, there was a limit to just really how much they could make use of some of those resources to try to put them towards finding this missing hiker. Now, they do say they're going to keep working, trying to find this hiker. They haven't released information on who he is and more information of this search. They're hoping to get that to us a little bit later on, but they do say this should act as a reminder of the dangerous conditions that can exist up the mountains, how unpredictable it can be, and a reminder for people to take safety precautions, also to make sure that if they're going out into the backcountry, if they're going to be hiking, let someone know where they're going to be and when they are going to be expected back. Jake Taylor, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Jake, they'll be back out there again in the morning. And Jake just mentioned those dangerous avalanche conditions. The avalanche danger really across the state, except for in the Moab area, is high right now. Craig Gordon from the Utah Avalanche Center, kind enough to join us here on this fine Monday evening.
Absolutely.
After heading out on the snow today, what did you see?
Yeah, thanks.
Lots of snow, right?
Lots of snow, okay. Lots of avalanches, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been an amazing storm, right? The thing that we were missing was the water and the wind, and that all came together, and man, it is just piling up on like a house of cards. The problem is the weak layer that was developed during the December dry spell, that's like dominoes sticking up, and you stack that slab on top in its own right. It's comfortable in its own skin until we add more wind like we saw in the past few days. And those dominoes, they're wavering, and a lot of them tipped over, and now the slab is off to the races.
I read a lot of the observations on UtahAvalancheCenter.org, your one-stop shop for everything.
I love it. Thanks.
We've done this enough where I got you. Some of the observations are saying, hey, we knew the conditions weren't right to do this, but we did this anyway, or we did close to it anyway. What is just the message to folks out there right now with this storm continuing just to hammer the mountains?
Oh, right now, this is the real deal. And unfortunately, Brian, snow rewards us for sometimes some questionable decision making. But right now, any avalanche that we trigger, it's going to break deep, it's going to break wide, it's going to start off the ground, but then quickly gouge down to weaker layers deeper in the snowpack. And of course, we want everybody to ride the greatest snow on earth, but more importantly, come home safely to their families. And the way we're going to do this is to practice some patience, pump the brakes right now, know it's a long season, and simply stay off of and out from under. Steep wind-drifted slopes are going to be at mid and upper elevations on those slopes that face the north half of the compass.
Still getting to the holiday season here towards the New Year, so a lot of people maybe have family in town, maybe they want to grab a simple sled, or they want to throw on the snowshoes, and they're not doing anything crazy. They're going to go to Donut Falls. They're going to go somewhere more casual. What is the idea for those families out there, and what's the message for them? Maybe a little bit more relatable to those that aren't doing what maybe you're doing before you come into the studio.
It doesn't matter if we're skiers, boarders, sledders, riders, sliders, extreme snow angelers. the thing to think about is you can have a blast on low angle terrain, or you're taking the sled out for a rip, you're going for just a walk in the woods. As long as you stay in big open meadows with no steep slopes above or adjacent to you, that's the ticket. Or you could enjoy greatest snow on earth at one of the world-class resorts where active avalanche mitigation work is done. If we go over to the map for a second, we can take a look at northern Utah, top to bottom. We've got an avalanche warning in effect. What that means is that both human-triggered and potentially natural avalanches are very likely. And hey, let's take a look at maybe an image in the Salt Lake zone. And you can see lots of red, so those are stoplights. And as Brian scrolls down into some of the images that we post right here, what do we got here, Brian?
You've got this ridge line here, what, Big Cottonwood Canyon area?
Yeah, Big Cottonwood, exactly.
And this shows just this extremely wide breaking avalanche, something that you see on some of the most monster things that you're out there educating a lot of the public about how this really can break, not just in small little portions, but take a lot of people for a ride if the situation was
exactly. And so what it looks like now, and you can see here in this image, this just isn't a small piece of snow. This is several football fields wide. It's breaking down close to the ground, so it's taking out the entire season snowpack, and that's what makes things particularly dangerous right now. And again, if we have this overhead hazard and we are below this slope, we could easily trigger an avalanche like this from a distance.
I told you we'd do it. Donate, join. It is up on there. What can people find here on the website?
What I encourage is anybody headed into the backcountry, UtahAvalancheCenter.org, like you said, and thanks for the plug, Brian. It's your one-stop shop for all things avalanche. Remember, statewide organization, be armed with that information because our snowpack is not a one-size-fits-all snowpack. So we're going to tell you the types of terrain to avoid, the kind of gear you should have: avalanche transceivers, shovels, probes. Everybody should know how to use that gear. More importantly, know what that hazard is for the zone that you plan to travel in. UtahAvalancheCenter.org. It is full of the full meal deal, all-you-can-eat avalanche buffet. We're always around. We got classes, we've got talks, and we update that forecast every day.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. And important, on an ending note, please, we've had a couple of close calls. The writing is on the wall. Let's go into the new year safe. Let's make sure to get home safe to our families.
Thanks for coming in. Let's do it again soon.
Man. Thanks. Look forward to it.
Craig is just the best, by the way. Mediation underway at Park City Mountain Resort after ski patrollers went on strike last Friday. The patrollers, who are contracted by Vail Resorts, they're demanding better wages and working conditions. Today, photojournalist Andrew Brown spoke with the vice president and CEO for Park City Mountain Resort to discuss the ongoing negotiations.
We had mediation that was scheduled for last Friday. Obviously really disappointed that that's the day that the Ski Patrol Union decided to go on strike. We've been negotiating in good faith. In fact, we had mediation scheduled for this Thursday that we've been committed to. And then we were really pleased to find out today that the federal mediator had availability for us to start mediation this afternoon and tomorrow. So we have mediation planned for today, tomorrow, and the day that we've always been committed to, which is this Thursday.
And so that mediation, does that involve the ski patrollers as well coming and talking to you guys?
It does. So it will be the Park City negotiating team with the Ski Patrol's negotiating team at the table starting this afternoon, again tomorrow, and again on Thursday. Each day we focus on our terrain and assess what we can open each day, really thinking about what we can open safely with the people that we have. And we certainly made that assessment today after the snowstorm and are pleased that we're operating out of both villages.
But you're not selling tickets today, is that correct?
That's correct. We're not selling tickets today. That's been something that we've been able to possibly use at our resort for several years now, and we felt like today was a day to limit those ski ticket sales while pass holders can still come and enjoy the mountain. Yeah, we continue to be committed to negotiating in good faith, and I really look forward to productive conversations with the Ski Patrol Union starting this afternoon.
Well, the union is pushing for a contract that discusses and guarantees a $23 an hour base rate with potentially more for some experienced patrollers and improved benefits. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, our Kristen Kenny takes us bull riding. She's fearless. The New Year's Eve tradition happening in Ogden. As millions get ready for the ball to drop tomorrow night over in Ogden at the Golden Spike, they're ringing in a new year a little bit more wild. Hold on tight. Kristen Kenny brings us closer to this rodeo tradition that has been around nearly 4 decades. Does she really ride a bull?
Beneath me is 2,000 pounds of pure power. And when this gate opens, it's all about holding on. This is Bull Wars. Let's go.
Ground pounding, bone crushing, bull riding action.
Meet Ben German, the heart of Bull Wars, a New Year's Eve tradition he started 35 years ago in Utah.
I love the people. I love, seeing these cowboys.
From seasoned pros to the next generation of bull riders, this is where rodeo dreams are made.
It's neat to see some of these kids that, can't ride one jump, and then a couple years later, they've qualified, to the circuit finals.
I've won 28 buckles from getting on sheep to mini bulls and then roping and stuff.
In the rodeo world, start 'em young.
I'm 10. 7.
You're 7 and 10 and you get on a bull?
Yeah.
Fearful? Nah.
I don't really get scared that much.
Big ambitions? Yeehaw!
One of my dreams is to go to the NFR and win the world in bull riding.
The NFR is the prestigious Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, where Utahns have had a ton of success.
The NFR, Utah had the bareback rider won the world, the bronc rider won the world, and the bull rider won the world. And all those kids have came up through this, deal and makes you proud.
This deal happens every Tuesday from November to spring, where people of all ages from all over Utah come to test their grit on Ben's bulls.
How often do you guys do that?
Once a month in the winter.
Cody and Colt come all the way from southern Utah.
That's a long haul.
5.5 for him, 4.5 for me.
What makes you want to do it?
Get better. Love it.
Bull riding isn't just like the mechanical bull and
No,
the handle
it's
seat.
a lot different actually.
Hook me in, guys.
So I had to see what all the hoopla was about.
Just ease down on them. All right, anything I should be warned of in advance?
If you take too long in the chute, the bulls will start getting mad and trying to shoot fight. And
No, we don't want him to buck. No. Oh, we don't want him to buck, do we?
No. I've had a bull flip on me.
In the chute?
Yeah.
I'm a little scared. Do not try this at home. But see, I got to be able to hold on though. This is not like riding a mechanical bull, so nope. Sorry guys, I'm not going to do it today, but you can see the pros do it December 31st. Woo! Bull Wars, 7:30 here at the Golden Spike. Chris and Kenny, KUTV 2 News. Giddy up!
Good idea not to ride the bull, KK. Normally, I'd say 99% of the time she's going to do something wild, but kept it good here. We need her intact. Always looking for people to share those feature stories in our Eye on Utah segments. So if you know someone or have a story idea, we'd like to hear from you. Maybe we can turn that idea into something a little bit more concrete here. Contact the Eye on Utah team. All you have to do is send them an email. The email address you see on your screen is eyeonutah@KUTV.com. Good to be back with this guy here, meteorologist Chase Thomas. I feel like this is how we started Arc Salt Lake, or the 2 News Live at 5:30.
That's right.
We were doing the show together. So this is really awesome. It's nice to see improvement, and the green number here, we're
big,
getting better.
Yeah, you talked about the avalanche, so there's a lot of new snow, anywhere between 20 to 40 inches. So yes, avalanche danger is extreme.
But it's not the type of snow we want either, right?
No, it's that. Well, yes and no, right?
Build the base.
We're building the base. Now we want that drier snow, which will happen eventually. But this is good news. A week ago, snowpack for the entire state of Utah at 70%. Today, it's now at 95%. So we're closer to average or normal when it comes to how much water is in our snowpack. Now those numbers are higher in northern Utah and they are lower down in southern Utah. We haven't had a whole lot down south, so hopefully we can get some moisture down there here soon. But with our latest storms that I'm tracking, mainly for northern Utah. But take a look. Let's talk about that great news. Over 40 inches of snow at Snowbird and Alta since Christmas. Those are some pretty healthy totals. Again, it's a very heavy wet snow, so there's been a lot of water in that snow, which is why our snowpack numbers really increased. Brighton close to 40 inches, close to 30 at Snow Basin, Park City, Powder Mountain, and Deer Valley. Beaver Mountain in far northern Utah, east of Logan, about 2 feet of snow. Now tonight we are dry. We've had a couple lingering snow showers coming off the Great Salt Lake, but things are definitely winding down. It's going to get cold tonight with these clearing skies. Take a look. Lows right around 20 degrees for most of the Wasatch Front. If you're in Park City, there's a lot of visitors right now. You really got to bundle up, where it's going to be 6 degrees tonight, 2 in Heber. We'll be in the teens tonight in central Utah and St. George at 30 degrees. Now tomorrow, New Year's Eve, it's going to be a pretty sunny day. However, still pretty chilly. 30s here along the Wasatch Front, 20s in the mountains. When you're ringing in the new year, those temperatures will be cold, likely into the 20s for most of us, but it's going to be dry. We're kind of in between storms, so don't have to worry about that. Not fighting any rain or snow. But our next weather maker that we're watching, and it looks pretty impressive right now out in the Pacific, and it is tapping into another atmospheric river, lots of moisture with it, but it's going to weaken as it moves closer to Utah over the next 24 to 48 hours, but we're still going to get some moisture in here. You'll see this on Future Track. A couple high clouds rolling in the afternoon for western Utah, but we're dry. Bringing in the new year, no weather issues, but the cloud cover gets a little bit thicker on New Year's Day. Most of the snow will be in the mountains, I think, in the afternoon. So don't have to really worry about that. But notice by Wednesday night, it begins to fill in. And that's when we'll see probably a rain-snow mix for the valleys of northern Utah. But of course, it's all snow in the mountains. And there might be some light accumulation along some of our benches with some lingering showers through Thursday morning and then kind of drying out. So mainly a mountain storm, but we'll likely see maybe 1/10 of an inch of precipitation. Again, it'll be rain and snow here for the valleys. But Park City, 3/10 of an inch, that could equate to about 3 or 4 inches of snowfall. Valleys, if you're lucky, up to an inch. I think the best chance for maybe some light accumulation will be north of Salt Lake. Mountain valleys 1 to 4, and those ski resorts in northern Utah 4 to 8 inches by Thursday morning. So some decent powder skiing expected in just a few more days. Now temperatures down in southern Utah in the 50s through Thursday. But look at Friday, 61, but we're back into the 50s over the weekend and into next week. Rain chances not really there. So again, these storms are just kind of rolling through northern Utah, and you'll see it looks pretty active. Again, a few rain and snow showers Wednesday night, mostly cloudy but milder by the end of the week into the upper 40s, and then we have more storms rolling in over the weekend with rain and snow.
I got a question for you, and you might not have the answer. This is not a stump the meteorologist. This is a sincere question. How does Snowbird get more snow than Alta down canyon?
That is
how does that happen?
1 inch difference. And I don't know. No, I mean, I do know.
I have my theories.
I have theories as well. Now, I've been out of town for the past week.
I have
so
too.
I wasn't watching
this
all the
is all
storms.
news to me.
Sometimes, and it's not always elevation based, right?
Right.
So some resorts that are higher than Alta get less snow.
Right.
It's because of the canyon. And if we have some shallow storms, some of the lower elevation resorts can get a little bit more snow.
Could it be lower elevation lake effect power? Right?
It does.
Could be. Okay. Just food for thought. I don't know. We'll see how that progresses throughout the
It's a good question, though. But it was only a 1 inch difference, so really not a difference.
1 inch. We got to go. We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, scientists are celebrating a major find in Utah, a nearly complete skeleton of a 26,000-year-old red fox found outside of Vernal. The Ice Age fox was dug up from deep in the White Rocks Cave. Dig crews say this is the most complete Ice Age mammal found in northeastern Utah. Leaders from the Utah Division of State Parks say the remains have been in the cave for at least 10,000 years. Just wrap your head around this, will you? Crews are now working to clean and stabilize the bones before they're displayed at the Utah Fieldhouse of Natural History State Park Museum, which is in Vernal. Had to get to this. Over the weekend, LA hockey fans saw a familiar face in the stands, acting a little grumpier than they maybe remember him. Actor and comedian Will Ferrell with whatever he had in his mouth, I don't know, and whatever he's consuming there in that picture. This was the Buddy the Elf, the iconic one. This was Sunday's game against the Flyers. Looks like he's seen some better days. I know it was just for a good show, but wanted to make sure you all saw that. We are back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us tonight.